Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are taking a look at which path should you choose, and this video is assuming that you are on the verge of trying to make some decision between two different choices in terms of where you should go next in your life, and you know, it's up to you to decide like what option A would be and what option B would be, and we're just going to kind of take a peek behind the curtain and take a look at what is the potential outcome if you choose option A versus what is the potential outcome if you choose option B. And if you're watching this video and you're not really thinking about making a choice between two binary options, this might not be the video for you. So I just wanted to give some information on how this video is going to go. I've never filmed a video in this style before, so you know, we'll see how it goes, and with that said, please feel free to pause the video, pick whichever card is speaking the most to you, and let's get into today's reading. Hello pile one, and welcome to your reading. In today's reading we are asking your spirit guides, which path should you take? I was about to say which path should you choose. I will say at the time of filming this, there's lots of planets in retrograde, including Mercury, so I'm going to try my best to get these messages out clearly and concisely, but please bear with me. I have been having some trouble communicating and my technology's been acting up, so I'm just going to do my best. Also, I have never filmed a video in this style before, so please feel free to leave feedback about how this style works for you. The way that we're going to do this reading is we are going to be splitting the reading into option A and option B. And this reading is kind of based on the idea that you are trying to make a choice or a decision between two different things. And so it's like, which path should you choose? Which option should you choose? We're going to do option A on this side, we're going to do option B on this side, and we're just going to see maybe some potential outcomes of option A, potential outcomes of option B, and then we're going to get a card with some general advice from your spirit guides about making this decision. So with that said, let us get into the reading. We're going to start with 3 tarot cards for option A. Okay. What would be the potential outcome for pile 1 if they choose option A, Spirit? What would be the potential outcome for option A for pile 1, Spirit? The potential outcome of option A for pile 1, please, Spirit. Okay. We have the 3 of Swords. So that's a big message right off the bat. What would be the potential outcome for pile 1 if they choose option A, please, Spirit? What would be the potential outcome for pile 1 if they choose option A, please, Spirit? Okay. Okay. I thought this was the sun for a minute, but this is actually the moon. Okay. Alright, what would be the potential outcome for pile 1 if they choose option A, please? Oh, okay, it's too many cards. Okay. Alright, what would be the potential outcome? So once again, too many cards. Okay, what would be the potential outcome for Okay, this one jumped out and it is the World. So we have the 3 of Swords, the Moon, and the World as your potential outcomes if you choose option A. And I'm thinking that I might get all of the cards for your reading laid out, and then we can get into discussing the details, because that might just provide us with a little bit more context for this choice that you're trying to make. So we're going to start with the Oracle cards for option A, and we have Finding, Mule, which says someone is extremely stubborn and is unwilling to change, and we have Happiness. So already an interesting message here. And then we're going to get your cards for option B. again, just so we can have the full context of whatever this decision might be. Okay, so Spirit, what would be the potential outcome for pile 1 if they choose option B? Spirit, what would be the potential outcome for pile 1 if they choose option B, please, Spirit? Potential outcome. Do you want me to take this card? Oh, okay. What would be the potential outcome for pile 1? Cards are messy. Okay. Okay, what would be the potential outcome for it? Okay. Okay, we have the Two of Cups. I'm trying to fit all the cards in. We'll see how we do. I might need to adjust them. Okay. What would be the potential outcome for pile 1 if they choose option B? What would be the potential outcome for pile 1? Oh my god, okay. This is, half the deck just flung itself out. I do want to say, when I was pulling your Oracle cards, the Oracle cards for option A, these cards came out of each of the 3 decks. Like, it was immediately one card came out from each of these decks. When I was pulling your Oracle cards for option B, for every deck, Spirit kept giving me half the deck. It would just come flying out with a whole bunch of cards. So it took a while to get your cards for option B, and I just wanted to mention that because it might be kind of relevant to to what the message here is. So what would be the potential outcome? Okay. All right, we have the Five of Swords here. And I will organize the cards later. All right, well, what would be the potential outcome for pile 1? Okay, again, half the deck keeps wanting to come out. Okay, what would be the potential outcome for pile 1? Okay, we have one card here, which is a special card in this deck. It is exclusive to this deck, and it is number 23, which says Happy Squirrel. So, again, an interesting message here. And I want to say I'm not going to take the back of the deck because we just don't have room. But I did look at it, and it seems important because we're talking about making some sort of choice or decision about how to move forward. The card on the back of the deck was the Hierophant, and that might be encouragement from your spirit guides to seek out advice, which I guess you are doing if you're watching this reading, but maybe like seek out advice from a mentor or somebody in a position of authority, or a trusted family member, a therapist, a teacher, somebody like that. There could just be an additional message there, which is why I'm feeling compelled to talk about the back of the deck, even though I cannot take it in this reading. So I did want to say that. And then for your Oracle cards for option B, we have Lighten Your Load, which I could see definitely being represented here. We have, okay, with two animals, which is interesting. We have Pig, which says Beware of Greed. Again, I could see that being represented here. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. And then we have Anger. And then I did want to take an additional Oracle card that was going to be just overall advice from your spirit guides about making this decision. So, this reading obviously is meant to provide some insight or some clarity for you. Like a little peek behind the curtain as to the potential outcomes for you in making this choice. As always, the choice is ultimately yours to make. And to the advice, general advice, I think any tarot reader would give about making any kind of choices to trust your intuition. Because I think that there could be a message, even if you're feeling really confused, you might know more about the situation than you think you do. And I don't know if that's helpful advice, but I just wanted to say that, felt compelled to give that additional disclaimer here. So the overall advice we have from Spirit here is, this is also interesting because, sorry, I'm interrupting myself. This card says steadying, it says anchor. The trigger statement is, I am not ready for what comes next. The true statement is, I take it one step at a time. This card is connected with the root chakra, and it says, although things are shifting so quickly, be present and know this is part of a greater plan. So that definitely helps provide some context as to, what might be going on here. What I was going to say is, what is interesting is there are not that many cards in this deck that are connected with the root chakra. So I think it's important that we have this card that is connected with the root. And then we have this anger card that is the red color of the root chakra. And this is more of an orangey color, but there is a lot of kind of lower chakra energy right here. And even these cards, like this is an autumn-themed deck, so they're autumnal colors. But yeah, there's lots of like lower chakra energy in this reading. And then we have these two cards here that are more of a purpley kind of third eye color. That might be a message again that there's something that has to do with trusting your intuition here, but there's also a message about grounding and steadying and providing an anchor for yourself, and knowing that even when it feels like the earth is shifting beneath your feet, you can provide stability for yourself by remaining present and remembering that you do not need to make a decision today about what you're going to do tomorrow. There might be certain circumstances, if we're going to get nitpicky about it, sure, there might be certain circumstances where you do have to make the decision today, but at the core of what I'm trying to say is it's like that, the one day at a time philosophy of the most important moment in time is this moment. Whatever situation you're dealing with here, it does seem to be something that is maybe a little bit emotionally fraught with this Three of Swords here, the anger card there. It's like no matter what the choice is, there are heavy emotions involved. I think that your spirit guides are again, encouraging you to make sure that you stay grounded no matter what choice you make. I'm gonna move these over. So I am trying to get all the cards on camera, but it's a big spread. So starting over here with option A, we have this Three of Swords, the Moon, and the World. And this would talk to me about, this might be the harder choice to make. The Three of Swords is not an easy energy. It is a difficult place to be. It talks about heartbreak, betrayal, deep sadness, and any kind of really painful situation, especially if it has to do with the heart, especially if it has to do with a romantic situation. This is a painful choice. The question I ask is, what is the potential outcome of option A? And the fact that we have this Three of Swords for option A and this Two of Cups for option B, you might be making some sort of choice about a romantic decision or a romantic partnership. This choice might involve either like moving forward with somebody and or choosing not to move forward with that person, or it might be choosing between two different romantic options. If that resonates for you, it doesn't need to be romantic, but with the energy, this Three of Swords over here and the Two of Cups over there, they're just, that might be something that is involved here. The fact that we have this Three of Swords, which talks about heartbreak, betrayal, cheating, those types of things right beside this moon here. The moon can talk about things that we can't see. And if this is referring to a romantic relationship or a romantic connection, this would be a warning for me. That option A might result in heartbreak and somebody doing something shady behind the scenes. And the fact that we have this mule here, like I'm connecting this situation with this mule of someone who's extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. That might be the other person that we're talking about here. If this is something that has to do with a romantic connection. Otherwise, this mule might also just be a warning about somebody who is in your energetic circle. that you might be, that you might not even be aware yet that they might have like a pivotal role to play in whatever this option is, and their unwillingness to compromise or to, you know, take your needs into account, or give in to something that you might be trying to convince them of, could cause an impact on you that might result in a painful situation or heartbreaking situation where you might have a period of uncertainty, or where you might not know how to move forward. And that, you know, if we're asking like what's the potential outcome here, is like heartbreak, confusion, completion. That's, you know, the ultimate message here is, with the finding happiness in the world, this might start out painful, but it's not going to stay that way, because it's going to be an opportunity for you to realize something that you might not have been seeing clearly with the moon here. It's like something being revealed to you that you either might have maybe been in denial about, or just like an aspect of somebody that you just weren't aware of. It's going to become clear. It's going to be a painful realization, but it is ultimately going to lead to a sense of completion. And I do think it's really interesting. I just noticed it's finding happiness. You know, it's finding and then happiness. So, and there's a butterfly on here, a symbol of transformation. We could interpret this as it being a moon behind this person. The moon is also a symbol of spiritual support. You know, so there could be a message here even that like rejection is divine protection. And even if option A doesn't work out the way that you wanted it to, or the way that you were hoping that it would, again, ultimately it's going to lead to something good. And with the finding card, I'm also getting the sense that it might help you gain some insight into yourself, into your own emotions, into what makes you happy. It might help you step up and speak up for yourself. It might help if confronting this, whoever's being represented on the mule here, is an opportunity for you to practice speaking up for yourself. I think that is going to help you. This is a yellow card I would associate with the solar plexus of self-esteem, determination, willpower. You know, you have what it takes to get through this situation. And again, it might help you find parts of yourself that might have been missing, if that resonates for you. I think this finding card, it's giving me positive vibes. It's like making the most out of a bad or painful situation, and that's ultimately going to lead to happiness. This card is an orange color that would be associated with the sacral chakra, which, you know, is connected with things such as intimacy, emotional connection, with happiness here, emotional fulfillment. And I like this, but even the figure on the finding card, like this person looks very happy, you know, and she's almost making the same face as this card, like eyes closed, big smile on the face, you know, and that the person on the world card is happy, you know. So it's like that sense again of completion, fulfillment, finding happiness, to be able to provide that for yourself. But it's like you might have to go through like something painful. There might be a confrontation. You might need to again stand up for yourself against this mule person. Might be somebody who's standing in the way of you finding your happiness, and that's something that you're going to need to overcome. This moon card could even be saying, you know, there's parts of this process that Spirit is not going to reveal. Like the moon could even be saying, like, there's details here that we're not going to tell you about, because you're meant to go through a process of discovery. If you choose option A, that is ultimately going to end in the closing of a cycle. And even the person on this world is looking back at this experience, and they're at peace with what happened. So that's what I'm seeing in terms of option A, whatever that represents for you. It could be romantic. It doesn't have to be, you know, obviously it's a general reading. But yeah, I will say for both the option A and option B, I don't think there's like a wrong choice. You know, I don't think we're getting a spread where it's like all these cards are negative and all these cards are positive, and it's like an obvious choice. And that might be why you're showing up to this reading, you know, because it's not necessarily an obvious choice. I think that, you know, either option is just going to lead, like it's like a different way to get to a positive outcome, I think. But like, to be honest, both spreads carry a very similar message. So I wanted to say that because we have option B here, and this spread is interesting. We have this Two of Cups, and then the Five of Swords, and then the Happy Squirrel. And, you know, that's an interesting message. Like the Two of Cups it does talk about romantic partnerships. It talks about any kind of partnership. It talks about, you know, being emotionally connected with somebody else. And I usually interpret it as like both parties are ready, willing, and able to enter like a relationship that is fulfilling. You know, everybody's showing up. And it's usually a pretty positive message. However, then we have this Five of Swords, and that to me would be a warning. Like this option A, the heartbreak is immediate, and then there's a process of discovery here, and then there's completion, fulfillment, happiness, good positive vibes. This one, it starts out with, I'm getting a sense like getting what you think you want, and it doesn't turn out to be what you thought it was, because the Five of Swords it's not a positive energy. It can describe a toxic relationship. It can describe when it's even this big card, beware of greed, when one partner is greedy, you know. And this could even be like, this might not be a romantic partnership. This could be a business partnership. This could be like a family relationship. Like it's like being in an emotional connection with somebody else, whether it's romantic or not, and then being backstabbed or betrayed because the other person only wants what you have, or they're only interested in using you, or they're like, at one point their heart was in it, and then they saw something else and they were like, oh, I need to go after that instead. Or they said, you know, this is not healthy. This is, I'm going to climb over whoever I have to climb over to get to where I want to be in life. And that's why I think this card is a warning, and so this beware of greed is definitely a warning. So that's why I'm thinking option A might be accepting that it is better in the long run to walk away from somebody, even though it might be heartbreaking in the moment. Whereas option B might be talking about pursuing a relationship with somebody who's not in a healthy energy. Like, but even if this might even be saying like pursuing somebody who's displaying red flags, because that's what our heart wants in the moment, and there might be again a little bit of an element of maybe some denial here about you know, some warning signs about this person's behavior or something like that. Like there might be a reason, if this resonates for you as something that has to do with a romantic connection, there might be a reason why you might be hesitating to make this choice. You know, and like I'm just getting the sense choosing to pursue some sort of partnership is going to end in a betrayal, because the other person does not have your best interests at heart. However, we have this Happy Squirrel here. And again, this is an autumn themed deck, but there is a pumpkin here as well. And the pumpkin is a symbol of productivity and abundance. And this is this happiness, the happy squirrel. And so again, like I'm just getting the sense you might already know what this Five of Swords is talking about. This might just be a confirmation for you, just to follow your intuition. That if you're seeing warning signs or red flags about somebody's behavior, you're seeing that for a reason. You're not overreacting. And this might even be somebody trying to gaslight you. or love bomb you. And the message here is that they're not being genuine. But again, like, I'm just getting a sense that even if you were to choose option B, and this person shows their true colors, and they show that they have been greedy, you will still end up in a positive place, because it's going to, with lighten your load here, I think it's going to help you make decisions and to help you empower yourself. I think it's going to, and especially if there's a lot of anger involved in this Five of Swords, this betrayal, somebody else not showing up. This could even be saying if you entered like a business partnership with somebody and they were not pulling their weight, or they were just interested in the money aspect of it and didn't want to do any of the work. Like, this is user energy. It's like with lighten your load. It could be like lightening your load might be just like getting rid of this person, And that might be something that you would feel like you were empowered to do, and that it's like this anger is an empowering emotion. It can help us stand up for ourselves in situations where in the past we might have felt like we didn't have the power to do that. So that might be something that is part of the message here. Again, it's giving me like a powerful feeling of like when somebody reveals their true colors to you, you're going to be like, no, I deserve better. Like, how dare you do this to me? You are no longer a part of my life. You are no longer a part of whatever I'm working on here. I'm going to lighten my load by getting rid of you. And I'm 100% validated and entitled to my anger about this situation. And at the same time, I'm going to be this happy squirrel. I'm going to get my acorn. I'm going to get my pumpkin. I'm going to be productive and get all this abundance. And if there's only one squirrel on this card, I'm going to do it on my own if I have to. And again, it's giving me an empowered feeling. So that's why I'm like that. I don't think either option B or option A or option B is particularly negative. I just think that one of them has like a more immediate painful situation that is going to result in like a sense of joy and peace, and the other one, the painful situation might be revealed to you later, and it's still an opportunity for you to stand up for yourself and to harness your feelings of anger into empowering yourself to make decisions that you might not otherwise have been feeling like you wanted to make. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here with that. And I do also want to point out that this anger card has an open eye on it, and it's, again, that would give me a sense of I see clearly what this situation actually was. You cannot pull the wool over my eyes anymore. And and then I did really talk about this card when I pulled it, but I do think that, again, the overall advice from your spirit guides in making this choice or dealing with whether you choose option A or option B, choice is up to you. The real advice here is to remember to ground yourself, to try to stay present in the moment, especially if you're dealing with heavy emotions, especially if you're dealing with a chaotic situation. This Five of Swords, 5 associated with change. 23 also reduces to 5, which is associated with change. This is an unhappy change. This is a happy change. So there's almost like a perspective shift here. And going through this kind of either of these situations, I think it is important to remember to ground yourself, take it one step at a time, take it one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time if you have to. And remember that you don't need to have everything figured out all at once. That like the only real decision you need to make is, what are you going to do right now? And that's I think, like, just bring it back to the moment. If you're feeling overwhelmed, just bring it back to this present moment. What decision do you need to make at this present moment? And what can you do in this present moment to bring you back into your own energy? Bring yourself back into your own energy. There might be crystals that you work with that are helpful for you. I find that that doing yoga helps me feel more connected with my body and more present in the moment. Just whatever exercise or activity helps get you out of your head and back into your body, might be something that you are being encouraged to do, no matter what decision you make here. And with that said, I think that is where I'm going to leave your reading today, pile 1. Please feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know how this style of reading works for you, and whether you enjoyed this video or not. If you did like it, please feel free to give it a like. If you like my videos and you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe to my channel. And thank you very much for watching pile 1, and I do hope to see you in my next reading. Hello pile 2, and welcome to your reading. In today's video we are going to be asking Spirit which path should you take, and this reading is going to be divided into 2. We'll have option A on this side and option B on that side, and so it's up to you to decide what option A is and what option B is, and we'll see in the cards maybe some additional context for you to kind of figure out which option is Spirit talking about. And I mean, this reading is predicated on the idea that you are trying to make a decision or a choice between 2 different things, or it might be multiple things, but again, we'll see what kind of comes out in the cards. I am splitting it into a binary choice between 2 things, if that is helpful for you. If you're not trying to make a choice between 2 things, there might still be some insight for you in this reading, but it could be that this just isn't the reading for you if that doesn't currently apply to you. I also want to just apologize. The time of filming, there are like 6 planets in retrograde right now, including Mercury. So I'm going to try my best to communicate clearly. I'm struggling with it a bit today. And I'm also, I think, getting over some sort of cold. I took a COVID test and it was negative. So I think it's just a cold. So I'm sorry if I'm a little bit congested. And with that said, let us get into it. I will also be taking all of the cards and laying them all out, and then I'll start talking about the spread, just so we have like the full context of this choice or decision that you might be trying to make about like which path should you take. So with that said, let's get into it. We're going to start with option A, and we're going to start with the tarot cards. So Spirit, what is the likely outcome for pile 2 if they choose option A? Spirit, what is the likely outcome? Okay, maybe the 6 of Wands. We're not taking reversals in this reading. What is the likely outcome? Oh, okay, card flipped. Ooh, lovely. Okay, we have the 9 of Cups. Sorry, I had to pause to sneeze a bit. Okay, okay, so what is the likely outcome for pile 2 if they choose option A, please? Sure. What is the likely outcome? Okay. Oh, okay. And then we have the 7 of Cups. So right off the bat, it looks like, I mean, we'll say option B might be similar, but we'll see. This right off the bat, this looks like option A is a pretty good choice. So with that said, I'm going to lay out the oracle cards for option A, and then we'll look into option B. So your first oracle card. Ooh, I love this. Okay, we have inspiration. And I'm going to try and lay everything out on camera. We'll see how it goes. There's a lot of cards for this reading. And then we have, ooh, okay, this is interesting. We have the dragon, which says, beware of self-delusion, which is interesting. That may just be like a little bit of a warning there. Oh, okay. And this is the first card here where we're getting, again, a little bit more of a complex message. We have sadness here. With this dark blue color and the sad little cloud. But again, we'll see, this is, the thing that I like about taking a lot of cards in a reading such as this is that we get a lot of context, and a lot of the time, like making a choice between 2 things, even with this message of the 7 of Cups here, it's not easy because it's not always obvious. It's not always like the Spirit's showing me an image of like the 2 roads in a wood, and one of them is like bright, sunny, sunshine, rainbows, little critters running around, and the other option is like a dark and scary, like Halloween-y type of woods with the gnarled trees. It's like it's not always so obvious, right? And so it could be that for both options here we have some some complicated emotions, even though I think the message of these 3 cards together is ultimately positive. So again, we'll take a look at option B and see what's over there. So it's not, again, it's not always just like, you know, one option is all good, one option is all bad. You know, that's not really how life works. And with that said, I'm going to get the tarot cards for option B. What would the likely outcome be for pile 2? Okay. Okay, we have the Page of Pentacles. I'll fix up the cards later. It's hard, you know, when I'm doing a big spread, it can be hard to figure out where they all belong. Okay, for option B, Spirit, what would be the likely outcome for pile 2 if they choose to pursue option B? Okay, there's too many cards. Okay. Yeah, I'll fix up the cards later. What was the likely? Okay, we have too many cards again. And this actually happened for pile 1, where it's like one option, the cards came out one at a time. The other option, the Spirit's giving me half the deck, and this could be talking about like, there might be one choice that's a little bit clearer, and there might be one choice that right off the bat is a little bit more complicated or has more potential. This, okay, Spirit's helping me out here. This is like saying if you choose to go down you have a fork in the road, you have two disparate paths, right? It's like this one might be more straightforward, leading to a specific goal. This one might have more additional forks, and that might be why they're giving me so many cards. So I just wanted to mention that. Okay, what would be the likely outcome? Okay, we have the 8 of Pentacles. Lovely. What would be the likely outcome for pile 2 if they choose option B, please? Okay. Ooh, interesting. Okay, and then we have the Devil. Alright, and so we'll get the Oracle cards for option B. Ooh, I like this. We have Courage. Okay, yeah, this is an interesting spread. Again, it's not like an obvious binary choice here. We have Torch, which says spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. And then we have Frustration. And I'm going to get one more Oracle card, so I left this space here. That is meant to be like additional overall advice from your spirit guides about making this choice or making this decision. Like no matter which you choose, again, both of these options are complex, so it's not like there's one obvious right or wrong choice for you. Yeah, so we're just going to get some overall advice. We have Cypress, which says resilience. The trigger statement is I need to control, and the true statement is I surrender. This is associated with the solar plexus chakra, and it also says allow yourself to relax with the currents of life. These changes will take you even closer to where you are meant to be. And the trigger statement here, I need to control, I think I would tie that into like if there's an overall lesson that's going to be involved in choosing either of these options here for you, I think it will have to do with surrendering control of certain things, and knowing that you have the resilience to get through anything. I will say I think that this when we're talking about this need to control and maybe a little bit of resistance to surrendering to your divine guidance, you know, if that resonates for you, this might be related to this dragon, which says beware of self-delusion. There might be some mental framework that you have, or maybe some like rigid ideas about how things need to turn out, that might create this sadness for you if your manifestations and things you're trying to bring in towards your life do not show up exactly the way that you want them to. That is an intuitive message that I'm getting from this side over here. And then I think that this could be related to this frustration. You know, it's literally like a square or rectangular peg into a circular hole. So it's like trying to to control something that it's just not going to work. Like, it's just not the right fit. It's just not the right thing. And so there's a need to surrender that control. With this card, this could also be related to this devil, which talks about like attachments, addictions, and a lot of the frustration associated with something like that. The message of the devil could be related to this frustration, like feeling like you need to control something, or that something else has control over you, and usually not in a healthy way. So I do want to talk about this overall energy. First, I will come back to it at the end of your reading. So we're going to start over here with option A. I think this is a positive message. I think that with the Six of Wands, that talks about victory, success, recognition. It can talk about specifically if you are trying to do something that is in the public eye. It can talk about being recognized, you know, if this resonates for you, it could be saying like you might be trying to grow your social media following or do something that is online, or again, something in the public eye. This would be talking about being successful at that, especially if you are actively working on your manifestations. Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment, manifestations coming in, feeling very emotionally fulfilled. You have everything you want. You know, the person on this card is like, I have these 9 cups. I have everything I want. I'm feeling really good. And you're also being recognized and celebrated for something. And that, again, it could be related to your career, or a creative project. With this inspiration card here, you might be feeling very creatively inspired, and this could be saying like, if you choose to pursue option A, this inspiration is going to come directly from Spirit. It's a divine inspiration, and it's going to lead to success and the manifestation of whatever you want, and some emotional fulfillment, you know, however this resonates for you, because we all have different wishes. You know, there are some people who could, you know, really not want to be in the spotlight, who might be watching this reading. And so this would just be saying, this appearance of this 9 of Cups would be saying victory, success, successful manifestation of whatever it is you are trying to manifest. And I just was making the connection to maybe a creative project because of the inspiration associated with Wands, the creativity associated with Cups. We do have 2 Cups cards here. So again, just take that however it resonates for you, but this is a positive message. And then we have this 7 of Cups here, which talks about having options. And I'm sorry, pile 2. Okay. One of these cups has a dragon in it. There's a dragon over here, and I'm being urged also to make a connection with the specifically the wings on this dragon, with the wings on the devil over there. The devil on option B might be related to some form of self-delusion, which is what this dragon's talking about. That could be one of the options here. And what's interesting is I was getting an intuitive message with option B about you know, the pathway forward might not be 2 straight roads right to your goal. It might you know, I was getting, particularly for option B, there might be more forking paths, like more choices to be made after you make this initial commitment to option B. The 7 of Cups would literally talk about the same thing for option A, but this one I'm getting more of a sense of you're going to, because of the order of these cards, you're going to achieve a sense of fulfillment and success. Like you're going to, I think, achieve the main goal of option A, and then that's going to open doorways and open additional pathways for you after you have achieved the primary destination you're trying to get to, if you chose option A as your pathway forward. So that's something I wanted to talk about. And then I do want to make a connection, like one of the options, one of the opportunities on this card is 7 of Cups, is a dragon, and then we have this kind of like warning from Spirit to beware of self-delusion. And so there might be a message here, however this resonates for you. I think that you do have victory, success, and opportunities that are definitely coming in for you. You're going to be feeling very inspired. If you're doing something creative, and even if you're not, it is a time of feeling inspired and supported by Spirit. There's this, with this card being related to the solar plexus, and then this need to control, and there's there might be a message about success or victory that I don't know how to phrase this. I'm not judging. I'm not being judgmental. There just might be some ego stuff that kind of gets activated. If you achieve a certain level of success or recognition, and we have beware of self-delusion, one of these cards related to the dragon, spirit wants me to make a connection to the devil there. And then we have this need to control. It could be that there is just like a warning not to pick the cup with the dragon in it, and to really try to stay as grounded as you can, and to remember to pay attention to your feelings, like your emotional body and your intuition with the deep blue color on this sadness card. I think that this is also a little bit of a warning. I was saying I do think it is a message that even though you are manifesting exactly what you want with this Nine of Cups, that's a confirmation there. There might be something related to this Seven of Cups. This can talk about confusion. It can talk about feeling overwhelmed. And it can talk about not knowing which option or opportunity to pick because it's not an obvious choice. There might be a connection to like FOMO, like the idea that if you make a commitment to one of these cups, there's 6 other cups that you didn't try. And it's like I don't know if I'm, I feel like I started to express a thought and I didn't finish what I was thinking. You can trust your intuition to make this choice on the Seven of Cups, as long as you are making sure that that there is no sabotage. That was the word. Making sure that there's no element of self-sabotage here, especially with this connection to the solar plexus, which talks about self-esteem and feelings of worthiness. There just might be an urge to make sure that you are working on yourself, because you do deserve this success, victory, manifestation, recognition, whatever we're talking about here. You deserve this, and there might be a need for you to truly believe in your soul that you do deserve it, so that you are not, when you are trying to make this decision about how to move forward after you've achieved your initial goal, you're not coming to it from a place of unconscious self-sabotage by choosing the cup with the dragon in it that has to do with self-delusion. That was kind of what I was trying to get at. That I have trouble expressing that thought. And then I was making a connection with the sadness that, I think it is going to be maybe a confusing or overwhelming time for you, and there could be a feeling of sadness that you need to acknowledge and recognize, that there might be a circumstance after you achieve this initial success. There might be a circumstance where by accepting one opportunity, you might be feeling like you are shutting the door to other opportunities that look just as good. It's like you can only make one choice, and there might be sadness that you can only make that one choice. So that was something that I was seeing, and I think there might also be a message about, because the Nine of Cups is associated with wish fulfillment, it is associated also with it's the 9 in the Cups, associated with emotional fulfillment, but it's not the 10 of Cups. So there might be some recognition here that even when you get the thing that you've really wanted, even when you achieve this success, victory, recognition, whatever you're trying to manifest, it's option A is yes, you can have that. There might be some residual sadness. It might not. You might have something else going on in your life, and again, it might be related to this. Either a need to control, a resistance to surrendering to something, and something that has to do with the solar plexus, will, determination, and self-esteem. There just might be an element to it where it's not as fulfilling as you thought it was going to be. It could be that, the things commonly associated with things like fame. Like, I'm not going to make the prediction in this reading that you're going to become like an A-list celebrity. You could, you might, but you know, I'm just like, this might be on a smaller scale, a little bit more, you know, of again, like maybe like a post or something that goes viral that puts you on the path towards your ultimate dream life. And this could be just be saying there might be some deeper healing that needs to happen. That it might just be like this Nine of Cups might not be as fulfilling as you thought it was going to be, because it's not going to immediately solve any kind of deeper problem. If you are struggling with something that is causing sadness in your life, receiving whatever you are trying to manifest here, especially if it has to do with recognition, and especially if it has to do with being in the public eye, those things might be great and amazing and give you a certain level of fulfillment, but there is a message like it might not solve the deeper issue. However that resonates for you. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with option A here. I'm going to move into option B because I feel like I'm rambling. So with option B, I'm getting the sense that this might take a little bit more work. I think that this is something that's it could be a little bit more effortless. This is going to be a little bit more intentional, if that makes sense. Like with the Pentacles energy here, we have this Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles is somebody who's ready and willing to learn, gathering resources, getting ready for the next step, the next phase, being open to receiving guidance, and like right at the beginning of making a commitment to something, and then that is being supported by this Eight of Pentacles right next to it, which talks about hard work, commitment, showing up every day, and happily working away to create pentacles for yourself. And that you know, if the choice that you're trying to make has something to do with your career, which is something that I am getting for a lot of you here, probably is related to career, as opposed to pile one where I was getting there might have been theirs might have been more about a specific relationship. I think your reading is probably a little bit more connected to a career, but this is saying like, I'm gonna remain open, open to learning, doing the research, putting in the legwork, putting in the really hard work with this Eight of Pentacles. And with two Pentacles cards here, I would say that this might be a message that you are, like, even if it's not the same type of effortless or overnight success you might have if you choose option A, this is also going to be fulfilling because it's something that is allowing you to skill build, and I like the page and the person on this Eight of Pentacles both look happy. They're you know, they're happy to be working away on something. The Eight of Pentacles for me would be an association, and especially with the page, like there's a combined energy here about again, it's like committing to skill building, and it's transferable skills. Like it's something that is going to help you in the long run, whatever you want to do in the future. And maybe that's why Spirit was giving me half the deck. It's like when you're in this energy, you are creating so many more possible future choices for yourself because you're working so hard, and that hard work is going to pay off, even if it's not an immediate payoff. So that's something that I'm seeing with these two cards right beside each other. Might be a message again about money, even if it's not as immediate as, you know, there's not really messages about money here, but we do have success, victory, recognition. The Nine of Cups would be a confirmation about manifestations if you've been trying to manifest money. The message here might be it'll come in slower with option B, but you're going to be happy to be in this energy of working towards what you want. Like, this is not a negative message. This is more just like I'm putting my nose to the grindstone because I know that it is going to pay off. So then we have this Devil card here. And the Devil is not necessarily a negative message, it's more of a neutral message. It can have negative or positive connotations depending on the context of the reading. I do think that there is a connection here into the warning about frustration. I think there's a connection to this advice on the overall advice on this Cypress card. There might be a message about needing to surrender, to let go of the control because specifically because with option B, this is slower success, slower progress, and it just might not feel as immediately exciting as the outcome for option A, and that might create frustration. I think that the good news here is with the Courage card and the Torch, which says spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding, you are going to, I think, no matter what you pick, there's an opportunity here to work on the solar plexus. And the solar plexus, it's the solar plexus. There's a connection to the sun, which would also remind me of Leo. But there is, with courage, self-esteem, I would associate this card with that, like a solar plexus expansion. And this is like saying, I have the courage to pour my time and energy and resources and commitment to my day-to-day show up for myself in this learning process of spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. This could even be saying, if you're not, and even if you are, but if you're not resonating necessarily with this being a choice that has to do with your career, the Pentacles is associated with hard work and commitment. And this could just be saying you're committing to having the courage to really work on your spiritual development. And the fact that this Torch card is being represented by a torch, is saying to me, like, this is an illumination. Spirit is helping you when you have the courage to step up and really work on yourself, and especially facing whatever might be represented by this devil card here, like attachments and frustrations and even ways in which you might be self-sabotaging. There might be a connection there as well. When you have the courage to do that level of spiritual work, Spirit's working with you to help illuminate those things and to help bring an awareness of past patterns and attachments in your life that I think you will be ready to release and let go of. And I think, again, there's a message. By doing this work, you are opening up so many other future pathways for yourself. And I think that is ultimately a positive thing, even though there is a warning and a message here. Part of the lesson, if you choose option B, is going to be that you cannot force divine timing. You cannot force things to come in at a specific time in a specific way. And this is the long road. This is long-term commitment. This is, again, this is like work that you are happy to do. But with the devil here, I'm saying, and the frustration, I'm like, there's, and the need to control, there's like, I'm showing up every day and putting in this work, and it's so hard, and I'm demonstrating my courage. Where's the payoff? Where's my wish fulfillment? Why hasn't it come in yet? And the lesson here would be about surrender, and that this will pay off for you in the long run. I definitely think there is a confirmation of that, especially monetarily. We have 2 Pentacles cards here, and the devil is associated with Capricorn. I do think it will pay off in the long term, but again, the lesson here is about surrendering to divine timing. Like doing important work that is going to ultimately make you feel fulfilled, and knowing that again, you cannot force a specific timeline, and that might cause frustration. So that's kind of what I'm seeing there. And then the other aspect to the devil that I want to talk about, because again, it does depend on really the context of the reading, how we read the devil card. It does talk about attachments, addictions, things that we should examine so that we can examine the control that they have over our lives. And at the same time, it can talk about like positive attachments and positive commitments. It can talk about signing a business contract. It can talk about signing a marriage contract, buying a house, making some sort of commitment and attachment in a positive way. So this could even be saying, by putting this work in, you're going to be able to generate enough financial security to buy a house, to make some sort of commitment. Maybe you'll be in a financial position where you will feel like you can take the next step in your relationship, if that is something that has been kind of standing in your way. I think that there's multiple ways that we can interpret this. So this devil card is neither positive nor negative. I think it carries both. It's like it's both a warning and a reassurance that hard work does pay off, and that you are working towards earning something if you choose option B. So So I do want to say, like, I think for, I'm just going to reiterate for you guys, there's no wrong choice here. There's no bad option here. You know, this is talking about a little bit more of an immediate success with a little bit of a caveat here that, you know, and as I said, like, sorry, I know I'm talking really fast. That I do think that there is a message here that neither of these are just a straight path towards your goals. I think this one's going to be a bit more of an immediate success in terms of what you were trying to achieve, and then it's going to open further pathways after that. This one, I think, is going to be like, as you go along this road, you are going to be illuminating further pathways for yourself, and you might not reach the immediate end goal that you want as quickly as with option A, but you will get there eventually. And this is with this torch card here, there's a message coming through about, like, with option B, it's about the journey rather than the destination. With option A, it is about the destination as being a part of your journey. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with that. I just want to reiterate the message on this Cypress card as, you know, the overall advice from your spirit guides while you are trying to make this choice or decision. And that advice is, allow yourself to relax with the currents of life. These changes will take you even closer to where you are meant to be. And so that's why I'm kind of giving the sense, like, with option B, this might be a little bit slower. With option A, it might, what you want might come in faster, but it might still lead to a place where there's a little bit of surrender, you know, that needs to happen, especially if you're feeling confused or like you just want one particular outcome here, and that's just not the way that it has been arranged for you. So with that said, I think that is where I'm going to leave your reading today, pile 2. I hope that this has been helpful. Please leave a comment and let me know if you like this style of reading from me. And if you do like it, please feel free to give the video a like. As always, if you like my channel and you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe. And thank you very much for watching pile 2, and I do hope to see you in my next video. Hello pile 3, and welcome to your reading where we are getting some advice from your spirit guides about which path you should take. This reading is going to be split into 2 parts. We're going to have option A on this side, option B on that side, and it's up to you to decide, you know, which option is which for you. And it might become clear when we get the context in the cards, but this reading is predicated on the idea that you are facing a choice or a decision and choosing between 2 binary options. So if that doesn't sound like something that is relevant to your life right now, there might still be some insight or some messages here for you, but otherwise then this might not be your reading. So I just wanted to kind of explain how this reading is going to go. I will say for both piles 1 and 2 so far, we're not necessarily getting a message that either option is better or worse than the other, but we're just going to see, like, what is the likely outcome of choosing each option. And it can be that there's pros and cons and blessings and challenges associated with each option. So I just wanted to say that right off the bat. I also want to say that at the time of filming this, it is when there's a bunch of planets in retrograde, including Mercury. So I'm going to try my best to communicate as clearly as I can. I might be rambling a little bit. I also am getting over some sort of cold, so I have taken cold medication and it's making me a little bit loopy. So I'm going to try my best. Please bear with me. And with that said, let us get into the reading. We are going to start with option A, and we're going to start with the tarot. Spirit, what is the likely outcome for pile 3 if they choose option A? Spirit, what is the likely outcome? Okay, we have the Fool and the Hanged Man. What is the likely outcome for pile 3 if they choose option A, please? Spirit, what is the likely outcome for pile 3 if they choose option A? Okay. Great, and then we have the Page of Wands. And I'm going to lay out all the cards so that we can get like a good sense of the entire context of this choice or decision that you are facing. So the oracle cards for option A are peace. And the question I asked when I did draw these cards was, what is the likely outcome? So these are all an associated message. We have peace, we have growth, lovely, and we have dog far away, which says a distant friend is thinking of you. And I do want to say, as I said at the beginning, before I even pulled the cards, it had seemed like for the other two piles so far, there were some pros and cons to either option. This one, option A, seems pretty good. So I was just going to say that we'll see what comes out in the rest of your cards, but I'm not necessarily seeing any major challenges with option A. Okay, so Spirit, what is the likely outcome for pile 3 if they choose option B? Spirit, what is the likely outcome for pile 3? Okay, we have the 8 of Wands. What is the likely outcome for pile 3 if they choose... Oh! We have the 10 of Cups. Okay, what is the likely outcome for... Ooh, interesting. Okay, then we have the 3 of Swords. Okay, and I'm not going to take the back of the deck because we don't have room. And this also happened for pile 1, but I did see the card on the back of the deck, and Spirit wants me to talk about it. It was the Moon. That could be a message that there are certain aspects to this reading that you are not meant to know. And I think that we were getting a lot of information so far, even just with the cards that we have, but there could be just unseen forces at play here. That's kind of what I'm being compelled to share, with the fact that we had the Moon at the back of the deck. Like, there's just, there might be unintended or unforeseen consequences to making either decision, even though I am getting the sense that option A is this is a pretty zen kind of energy, and option B might be much more, I want to say exciting and emotionally fraught. So we'll see what the oracles say about option B. We have friendship. Yeah, we have pain. Ooh, okay, and we have peacock, which says, beware of great pride. I'm going to try and organize these cards. I think I just get to talking and then I forget to organize them, and they're not all on camera. So I could try my best here. I think it's sufficient. Okay, and then I'm going to take one more oracle card, which is going to be the overall advice from your spirit guides about making this choice. I will say I'm getting like very different vibes from option A and option B, but there's a message that there's not really a right or wrong answer here. It's just two different forks on the path of your life's journey. And while this reading can offer insight, the choice is ultimately up to you. And because of that, we are going to get one more piece of advice for the overall energy of trying to make this decision for yourself. We have time, and it says revive. The trigger statement is, I cannot stand myself. The true statement is, I am aligned. This card is associated with the heart chakra, and it says, go within and allow everything that is not resonant to be purged so you can come from your heart, your seat of power. This is interesting. I've been sitting with this energy for a little while, and I will say this pile is resonating differently from the other two piles, I will say, if you felt drawn to piles 1 or 2, I don't know what pile 4 is going to be like yet, but if you felt drawn to piles 1 or 2, I feel like pile 1 was asking about, potentially asking about a relationship. Pile 2, their reading was more about a career choice. With you guys, this feels more profound. I will give I just feel the urge to reiterate, there's no wrong choice here. Both paths will lead to alignment, and both paths will lead to heart chakra growth. Because we have this card associated with the heart chakra. We have this green of the heart chakra on this growth card, and then we have this pain, and I think there's a connection to this 3 of Swords, which are is talking to me about having to go through a painful experience to learn a lesson that is related to the heart chakra. This could even be saying, when I allow myself to embrace the fullness of life, and especially make myself vulnerable to having really fulfilling emotional connections with other people, I also unfortunately open myself up to the potential for pain. Like this reading is giving me, I was going to say it's better to have loved than lost, but I don't think that's really the lesson here. I think there's plenty to be grateful for with either option, but it's a different type of gratitude. This is saying I'm grateful for having had something, even if I have lost that thing, ultimately, even if it wasn't meant to stay. This side is saying, I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be on Earth having a human experience. And this Spirit's urging me to talk about something that something that happens with me, as I bring it back to my personal experience. I've recently been relearning. I have a bit of spiritual amnesia, they call it, where, I feel like we all go through cycles where it's like I have to keep relearning the same lessons until they become ingrained. And one of those lessons is part of being a divine creature who is having a human experience. Like, I'm just a soul having a human experience, right? Part of that is looking back on the painful things that have happened in my life. And I have enough emotional distance from these events to be able to look at them and say, I feel genuine gratitude. Like, I can see how these experiences have shaped me into the person that I am today. I can see how these experiences have led me to certain places on my spiritual journey that are in alignment with divine timing. I can see how every challenge was also an opportunity for personal growth, and the amazing changes that I have been able to create for myself in my own life, the amazing opportunities I've been able to create for myself in my own life by doing the spiritual work that is associated with growth. And so I can feel grateful for the painful experiences, because it's like, yeah, sometimes like I'm in this energy right now, where sometimes I'm like, I get a little bit bored, I'm like, there's nothing happening that's like really dramatic right now, and I'm so used to being in such a painful place that was like very dramatic for a long time. There was a lot of chaos in my life for a very long time, and I got used to that. It became familiar. And so being in this, like with the peace and the Hanged Man, and then this flower just growing, and then this sense of a little bit of distance between myself and loved ones that I know are out there. It's like but it's just a peace. It's a holding pattern and focusing on pouring into myself, waiting for divine timing, and just feeling grateful to be in this energy. This is a hard place for me to be because it's so unfamiliar, and I get bored. I'm like, where's the drama? Even though those experiences were so immensely painful, and I don't want to go back there. But for me, I can look back on that time in my life and say, I am grateful for when I was in this energy, because it has led me to be in this energy. And I know that there's more times going to come back again when it was exciting, but also painful. Does that make sense? I don't know. I feel like I'm just rambling. I hope that sharing that has been helpful for somebody listening. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move into the cards. Option A, we have the Fool, the Hanged Man, and the Page of Wands. And this combined with the energy of peace, growth, dog far away. This is, as I said, when I was describing my current energy, this is the vibe I'm getting from option A. Like, this is saying, we're ready. You are in a new cycle. When you choose, if you choose option A, you will be beginning a new cycle. You will be in a new energy. Things might not take off right away, because then we have the Hanged Man right next to the Fool. And the Hanged Man can talk about staying where you are. Things are not necessarily changing or moving forward or rushing forward, and that's okay. You are exactly where you need to be at this moment. With this growth card as a plant, like rooted into the ground, there's a message about we don't need to move forward or rush forward right now. There's a message with having faith in divine timing, knowing that things will play out the way that they are meant to, and it can be an uncomfortable energy. Being in this Hanged Man energy can be uncomfortable. And as I described for myself, I'm uncomfortable in this energy. Even though it's like it's a privilege to have the opportunity to be in a peaceful place. And I can recognize that and also feel grateful for it, when at the same time with the Page of Wands here, I can feel like, okay, I'm ready, I'm ready. I'm in the Fool, Page of Wands. I want to go. When's the adventure coming? You know, I'm ready for something new. And that might be something that you resonate with as having been in this energy before. This might be your current energy, and you might be considering doing something else. That might be what option B is representing. But again, this is not a bad place to be, right? Like, it's peace and growth, you know, and this is like nurturing yourself. That's the energy I'm getting from this growth card here, of like, it's reminding me of the Seven of Pentacles, of like pouring that energy into yourself, and you will see the effects of that growth, even if they are not immediate. And then with the dog far away, a distant friend is thinking of you. This resonates for me in terms of, I know that I have soul family and soulmates, and particularly one strong soulmate that I have not yet met in the physical world. I have not met them yet, but I can feel their energy, and I know that they're out there. And it makes me sad sometimes. You know, it's again, it's not easy being in that energy of the Hanged Man. If like, I know that there is divine timing at play. I know that, like, I can see the evidence of divine timing in my life so far. It's really, it's hard to, that's a practice of faith, to be able to say, I know that if these people are not yet in my life, it's for a reason, even though that's difficult and it makes me sad. That might resonate for you. This could also be saying that part of choosing option A might be moving away from a friends group or a loved one, somebody important in your life. And it could be saying that, you know, you will maybe feel a little bit homesick, maybe feel a little bit distant or separate from people that you love, but there are people, they are thinking of you, and this would be a confirmation that you do have people, even if it's just like soul family members you haven't met yet, you know, who are thinking of you. And like, this is just an energy of like patience, and cultivating a sense of peace where you are. And then I will say, I'm really focusing on this Hanged Man energy in the middle here. But we do have the Fool and the Page of Wands. And the Fool and the Page of Wands for me are a similar energy. As I said, the Fool is the very first card in the tarot deck. It talks about like being at the start of a new cycle. You're in a new energy. You're going on an adventure. And this is a carefree attitude of like, I'm going with the flow. I want to kind of see where this adventure is going to lead, see where the wind blows me. You know, I know that I'm being supported by spirit. I'm not, you know, I've closed out the old cycle. I'm not bringing that baggage with me. and I'm ready to go on an adventure. That's a very similar energy to the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands for me would be associated with travel. That might be something, and there's a dog far away. It might be literally option A, has to do with moving somewhere, traveling somewhere. Maybe it's like a study abroad or something like that. And this Page of Wands could be associated with that. And the Page of Wands is also a social energy, and it's an attractive energy of making new friends. So I think that there might be a message here, even though the friendship card's on this side with option B. I do think that the Page of Wands is somebody who easily makes new friends, makes new connections, and is eager and excited to see what's out there and to go on an adventure, and from a place of like a real sense of self and a sense of inner peace and confidence. And again, that's why I'm saying this is not a bad energy. Option A is not a bad energy to be in. It's just a very different energy that I'm picking up from option B. Option B. We have the Eight of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and the Three of Swords. This is intense. This is like, whereas this is, it's a peaceful time where we're practicing patience and faith, and we might feel a little bit homesick, but we're still excited to be here and to be going on this adventure and to be investing in personal growth, and feeling our connection to spirit. That's kind of what I'm getting here. Here we got the Eight of Wands. It talks about it's a very fast-moving energy. It talks about success. It talks about inspiration. It talks about having so many creative ideas we can't even write them down before we're getting more ideas. It's like just feeling so inspired, being in the zone. And it can talk about, if this is something that is relevant to you, could talk about having like sudden career success. It can talk about if you're doing something creative, if you're doing content creation, if you're doing anything involved in social media. I would associate this card with like something going viral or really taking off, or like being fast-tracked at work for a promotion. Like this is, again, it's intense and exciting. The Eight of Wands is an intense, exciting time of like really quick moving success, something taking off, and then we have this Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups, very positive message. It can talk about, because the 10 is the most. It's the last card in the suit. It can talk about extreme emotional fulfillment. And that might look different for different people. It could, like this card, you can see on the card, is associated with finding a soulmate, having children, any kind of relationship in your life that is extremely fulfilling, finding your soul family in the 3D in this lifetime, having like really beautiful memories and a sense of just it's sunshine and rainbows and nothing can go wrong. Like I'm so excited and satisfied with my personal relationships, and it could be associated with a soulmate, could be associated with friendships, friends group, either or, and all of the above. Very much would be associated with the heart chakra of like interpersonal relationships, and or like an overwhelming feeling of joy and fulfillment. And then we have the Three of Swords, and the Three of Swords is a painful energy. It is an energy of heartbreak, betrayal, loss, grief, sadness. You can see the heart here has been stabbed. And again, these cards together, that's an intense energy of, I'm so happy. I'm so fulfilled. I found everything that I wanted out of my interpersonal relationships and whatever I wanted. I'm feeling so emotionally fulfilled. It could be your career is taking off, if that's something that resonates for you. And then things fall apart. This is an energy of, I found my soulmate and they cheated on me. Like, I don't want to be that alarmist about it. This could, with the fact that we have friendship here in your oracle, this could be saying, thinking that you found your soul family and then finding out that they've been gossiping behind your back, or they've been doing something shady behind your back. And that could be just as painful, you know, and like not knowing the context of whatever this choice here is. This is like really high highs, really low lows. So that's why I'm saying this is much more intense than option A. You know, and then with the oracle cards, we do have friendship. So I think that this, with the 10 of Cups of like emotional fulfillment, I have everything that I want. This is like sunshine, rainbows, white picket fence, you know, exactly the future that I want for myself. And it could be, as I said, it could be related to a romantic relationship, especially with the Three of Swords here. It can also apply to friendships, platonic connections, however that resonates for you. I do think that the 10 of Cups, 3 of Swords are probably talking about relationships, but there could be a way to read this where this is about a career choice, where you're going to have massive, sudden success, and then things could fall apart, perhaps because of the betrayal of somebody in your social circle. With the peacock here as a warning, beware of great pride. There might be something that has to do with pride or ego. That might be something that you recognize. You might have somebody in your friends group or somebody involved in this who is going to betray you because of, again, like pride or ego. There might be somebody who's in a more of like a narcissist energy, if that is something that resonates for you. You might already be aware of the red flags that this person's giving off, or it could completely come out of left field, because this is like, this energy does not see this Three of Swords coming. That's the way I'm kind of interpreting that. And then we have this pain, and I would associate the pain with this Three of Swords. It is extremely painful. This is an extremely painful energy, especially if it's coming after these two cards here. And the pain card is the red color associated with the root chakra. This is talking about something that is so immensely painful that it shakes you to your core. It destabilizes you. It can create a lot of insecurity, especially, you know, if you were feeling very secure and fulfilled and safe, and then you know, somebody comes out of left field to stab you in the back. You know, that I could see that being very destabilizing and creating a lot of pain and insecurity. I will say, the silver lining to option B is getting to experience the high, even if it's followed by a low, because that's also a part of life. And that's why I think at the beginning I was, you know, I was a little bit hesitant to say this, but it's that there's almost a sense of like, it is better to have loved than lost, to have a human experience that is very intense and exciting, even if it ends badly, even if it ends with pain. Those experiences can be very valuable in terms of growth, and in terms of learning lessons about discernment. Again, there might be somebody in your social group who has been showing red flags. You might not be aware of it. You might not have been paying attention to it. But beware of great pride. There might be somebody in your social group who, it's like crabs in a bucket. Even when you achieve a certain level of success or happiness, they're just waiting there, waiting to stab you. Like, I don't know how else to describe that. So that's kind of what I'm getting with option B. Whereas with option A, there's a little bit more distance here, that a distant friend is thinking of you, and that distance might be something that keeps you safe from the pain and heartbreak on option B, but it's not as exciting, it's not as intense. It requires more patience, more faith. There might be a period of time, like the Hanged Man on this card is not really happy to be hanging out here, you know, even though they might understand that it is like the best thing for them in the moment. It's like, you know, especially to be in between I'm excited to go exploring energy of both the Fool and the Page of Wands. It's like, well, I gotta hang out for a bit. You know? Again, it's not as exciting, but there's no pain here. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's kind of what I'm getting here. It's really up to you to decide which option you want to go with. It's really up to you because they're both human experiences. And I will say, like I said at the beginning of the video, there's no right or wrong choice. But this reading is just meant to give a little bit of insight about the likely outcome of whatever choice you were trying to make here. And I do want to bring it back to the overall advice here with the time in the middle. The trigger statement, I cannot stand myself, might be related to this, the root chakra, the pain of, this could even be causing a pain that causes a lot of self-doubt, especially if it's something that would be blindsiding you. It could cause like the kind of self-doubt where like I can't trust myself, I can't believe that I let this happen. You know, it could be like how could you know, and I've definitely been in that energy where through somebody else's actions, like they were the person who did something wrong, but I internalized it. And that could be something that might be represented here. But the true statement with I am aligned, I think that ultimately it will lead to heart chakra growth. And there's a revive here of like bringing yourself back to life and getting to a place where, like maybe eventually after the pain has passed, getting to a place where you'll be able to trust again. So again, I just want to reiterate, there's no right or wrong choice here. They're just different. They're just different energies. You know, it says this is more intense in every way. This is more peaceful. And it's up to you which path you want to take and to decide, you know, what each side kind of means for you. And I do want to, just before we close out the reading, I want to repeat the statement on this card, this time card, which says, go within and allow everything that is not resonant to be purged so you can come from your heart, your seat of power. And again, that's giving me the idea that no matter which side you choose, this is going to lead to a heart chakra expansion, a heart chakra growth. This growth might be a little bit faster because I think this is being in a Hanged Man peaceful energy, just like I want to go on an adventure, but I gotta wait for divine timing, you know, like that can be like, and because I'm not moving forward right now, I can focus on healing my heart right now, whereas this is like, I gotta go through another really painful experience before I can get to the healing part. And again, it's up to you which choice you want to make. And so I do hope that this reading has helped provide some insight. I hope I didn't ramble too much. If you did like the video, please feel free to give it a like. Please comment down below and let me know how this resonated for you, whether you like this style of reading from me or not. If you like my videos and you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe to my channel. And with that said, thank you very much for watching Pile 3, and I do hope to see you in my next video. Hello Pile 4 and welcome to your reading. In today's reading we are asking your spirit guides which path should you take. This reading is predicated on the idea that you are trying to choose between two different options. It might be a little bit more complicated than that, but I am splitting the reading into option A, option B, and it's up to you to decide you know, what each option represents. Obviously we'll get some context when the cards come out that might be more helpful to provide some insight for you, but that's the basic premise of this reading. So if you feel like you are not on the verge of needing to make a choice or a decision, on. You know, if you feel like you know which path, or you just want to stay on the path you're on, that's okay. There might still be some messages or insight for you in this reading. Otherwise, this might not be the reading for you right now, and that's okay. But I just wanted to be clear about that up front. And then the other thing is, at the time when I'm filming this, there's a bunch of planets in retrograde, including Mercury, so I'm going to try my best to communicate clearly. I feel like I have been rambling a little bit. I'm going to try to rein that in. And then the other thing is that I am getting over a cold. I have taken some cold medicine, and it's making me feel a little bit loopy. So again, I'm going to try my best to stay on track here and get clear messages for you. So with that said, let's get into it. We are going to start with the tarot cards for option A, and I will be pulling all of the cards before I start talking about them. Just because I think it's important to have kind of the full context of whatever this decision is. What is the likely outcome for pile 4 if they choose option A? Okay, we have the Three of Swords. I will say this card came up in this, I think this exact same position. So like the first card of option A for pile 1. So if you felt drawn to pile 1, there might be messages there for you. So what's the likely outcome for pile 4? The Nine of Cups. So what is the likely? Okay, and we have the Lovers. Okay, this is an interesting message so far. Again, I'm a little bit. I have a little bit of mental fog. I can't remember if the Nine of Cups also came up for option A for pile 1. It might have, so there might be like some similar energies here. I mean, obviously we'll see what comes out in the rest of the cards. And we're going to get some oracle cards for option A. So we have Well-Being, which I can definitely see being represented here. We have Trust. Lovely. It's a lovely message so far, even though we do have the Three of Swords. And then we have, oh, I love this. Okay, we have Fan, which says romance, celebration, party. So, so far, option A, even though it might get off to a bit of a rocky start, I think is looking good so far. And we'll see what comes up with option B. All right. So what is the likely outcome for pile 4 if they choose option B? So what is, oh. Okay, we have the Hermit. It's hard when I do big spreads to figure out how to get all the cards in the right place. Okay. What is the likely outcome for pile 4 if they choose option B? So what is the likely outcome? Okay, ooh, we have Justice. So 2 major arcana over here. What is the likely? Okay. Ooh, okay, we have the Eight of Cups here. Interesting. Definitely a different energy between these two options. So look at the rest of your oracle cards. We have Home. Strength. Okay, and Trust, or sorry, I. Which is interesting. We have the Trust card here, and then I was drawn to the word trust here. It says psychic ability, trust, or intuition. So there might be an overall connecting energy of a lesson about trust, particularly I think with option A, there's a message about learning to trust other people. Option B might be more of a lesson about learning to trust yourself. But there's a common thread about trust in between these two options. I can't put your cards are just going to be crooked. I'm sorry. They've been crooked for every pile. And my inner perfectionist is weeping right now, but it's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. And then we have the overall advice from your spirit guides is I have an additional oracle card that is meant to, you know, obviously the choice is yours, and I am getting with the sense with either of these, and I was getting with every pile so far. There's no real right or wrong answer. There's neither of these options are like obviously terrible, or you know, you know, obviously, like of course the choice is up to you, you know, and it really is just about you know, this reading is just to offer a little bit of insight, a little bit of a peek behind the curtain of the maybe the likely outcome of either of these two choices. But there's pros and cons to both, and because of that, we're getting an additional oracle card that is meant to just be some additional guidance that might help you make this decision, or might be a connecting, like, no matter which path you choose, there might be a connecting thread or theme or lesson that is part of what you are meant to learn in this phase of your life's journey. And that's why I was also making a connection between this trust card and then the trust over here, as that might be part of this overall theme. And we have your oracle card here is Citronella, which says expel. The trigger statement is, I am being invaded. The true statement is, I am pure. And this card is associated with the solar plexus. And it says, as you align with the frequency of peace, the invasions from outside yourself and dissonance within are neutralized. And that's really interesting, and I would definitely bring that back to the theme of trust. You know, it's there's a solar plexus connection with determination, willpower, and self-esteem, and then there's a message here about being able to trust yourself, that you know that you have the willpower, the determination, the inner strength to protect yourself from other people's energy, and there's because you can trust yourself to know that you can protect yourself. There's a message here about being more open to trusting other people as well. Because you know that the people who are not trustworthy and not in alignment with you are not going to get past your defenses. You can use your discernment. You can trust your intuition about them. And there's with option A in particular, I think there's a message here that if new people are coming into your life, that they will be trustworthy, and you will know that you can trust your intuition about them. You have the power to use your discernment to make sure that you do not have you no longer have people or influences in your life who are going to be overbearing or taking over your energy, or making you feel bad about yourself, damaging your self-esteem, making you feel like you have no power, taking your voice away, any of those things. You with expel, you know you have the power to expel that energy from yourself, because the true statement is that you are pure, and there's like with the as you align with the frequency of peace, the invasions from outside yourself and dissonance within are neutralized. And I think that's a very powerful message. So this would be the connecting energy here. Like, this is part of what the lesson your soul is trying to learn. And again, I'm just feeling compelled to reiterate, there's no right or wrong choice here. They're just different paths to the same outcome. That's the message that I'm getting for you, pile 4. I will say, I think for for each pile today, we've had kind of a distinctly different message. Even though you might have some of the same cards as one of the other piles, the pile 1, I was getting a sense they were trying to make a choice about a specific relationship, whether romantic or not. Pile 2, I think it was more of a career-based reading. Pile 3 was really about like a heart chakra expansion. And for you guys, like this is about rebuilding trust, and trust it, like your trust in yourself and your trust in other people. And that could be related with the heart chakra. It could be learning to trust your intuition, and it could be like a very much related to a solar plexus expansion. and the knowledge that you have the power to do anything. You are the authority figure in your life, and knowing that you have the inherent self-worth to make whichever decision is the best decision for you, and being able to trust yourself to advocate for your own needs. And that's a beautiful thing. So again, I'm getting a sense like no matter which option you choose, there will be a positive outcome here. I will say option A, I did say I was associating this with learning to trust others, and option B I would associate with learning to trust yourself and perhaps the universe. And you can, I mean, there's crossover with either option. You know, we're splitting this into a binary choice, but, you know, it could be a little bit more complicated than that. But with option A, we're starting with the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords can talk about having a painful experience. You can talk about betrayal, heartbreak, really painful emotions, grieving something, having a sense of loss. And this is like, this is raw emotion with the Three of Swords there. And it's usually because somebody has done something to us. And in particular, I'm sorry about the truck outside. In particular, there could be a message about that, like, this is the reason why I'm getting the sense that trust is the major theme in your reading here today. I will say, if you're not resonating with this idea of needing to rebuild trust, this might not be your pile. Yeah, this could be saying that this might be related to past trauma, like past experiences where you have been badly hurt, and needing to work through those feelings and really work on a sense of well-being and providing that sense of well-being for yourself. I think it's important that this is the first card in the spread here. These other two cards are very positive, but this is saying, like, I'm giving myself time to validate and to work through and process and do the spiritual work that is required here in order to release these feelings on the Three of Swords and work on rebuilding trust and reopening your heart chakra after a painful experience. And especially, I think it's really important that we have this Three of Swords, this dark color I would associate with the third eye. Then we have this trust card, it also has a heart on it. It's the same kind of color that is also associated with the third eye. There's an associated message here with this eye card. So again, there's a little bit of crossover between these two things, but it's like I'm making a connection between these two cards. This is about learning to trust again after having been hurt, and specifically learning to trust your intuition and being able to know that you can discern when somebody is coming to a connection with an unhealthy energy, and to be able to trust your gut feelings about a situation. That's what we're working on with option A. The positive messages here are the Nine of Cups of completion, fulfillment, wish fulfillment. This card is also associated with receiving a manifestation, especially if it has to do with a relationship or something that has to do with emotional fulfillment, feelings of well-being and happiness. You know, so this could be, you know, if you choose option A, this is going to help manifest specific things, specifically because you are doing shadow work that is related to healing past pain. And then we have the Lovers here. And the Lover, we could interpret this literally. This is talking, maybe one of your manifestations is a relationship. Maybe there might be soul mate coming in for you, soul family coming in for you, a soul level connection in some way, shape, or form. The Lovers also could be just related to like a message, like a confirmation from Spirit, even though there's no wrong choice here. Option A might be more in alignment with a choice to follow your heart. We have Cups associated with emotions and relationships. We have a literal heart on the Three of Swords. And then the Lovers is also associated with literally with making a choice to follow your heart and choosing the path that is most in alignment with your heart's true desire. And that might, the fact that this is appearing in this reading might be like a message from Spirit that if you've been wondering whether choosing option A is the option that is in alignment with your heart's desires. A confirmation, yes it is. A confirmation, you will receive your manifestations. There just might be, this process of choosing option A might start with confronting pain. And then we have this well-being card, and this is again, it's giving me the sense like taking time to focus on healing, particularly healing the heart, particularly healing your sense of trust in your own intuition, your own level of discernment. You know, there's a person here who's just kind of relaxing on the grass in a meadow and kind of just vibing, you know, connecting with nature, connecting with spirit. There's butterflies on this card, a symbol of transformation, and there's a moon on the card, which I would interpret as, you know, moon is representative, definitely as a full moon, especially with emotions, all kinds of emotions, and with spiritual support, spirit working with you to bring things into alignment, which I would also say your working on this is bringing manifestations in towards you, especially if they have to do with interpersonal relationships. And if that's not resonating for you, this is just a confirmation. After you do this work, you will be able to release it, and you will be having an overall sense of well-being, trust in yourself, trust in the universe, and trust that that you can celebrate and enjoy the positive things in your life, because there's not such a fear of other people, or a fear of loss, or a fear of betrayal or abandonment, or whatever else it is that we are trying to heal on this Three of Swords. And I also think this fan card, which says romance, celebration, and party, is a big part of that. Like we have romance, celebration, party, well-being, trust. This is leading to good, positive places and an overall sense of happiness and well-being. And again, a confirmation. Option A is in alignment with your heart's true desires. And you're going to be having a good time. Romance, celebration, party. You're going to be having fun with this Nine of Cups and the Lovers here. So that's what I want to say about option A. And then we're moving into option B. And option B is a little bit more solitary. We do have the Hermit here as the first card. The Hermit can talk about taking time away from other people to focus on soul searching, reflection, gaining insight, and it could, like, there's, I think, you know, I was going on about the shadow work associated with this Three of Swords and the healing and the spiritual work here. That could also very much be associated with the Hermit, whereas I think that there's maybe a little bit more social energy over here of like healing with other people, perhaps in a group setting, if that, you know, if that resonates for you. This could be saying I'm taking time away so that I can focus on my healing without distractions from other people. This could be saying with the home here, making your home your safe haven, and like entering a little bit of a hermit mode, a little bit of a self-isolation, again, to do that spiritual work and spiritual healing, get some insight into things that have happened in the past, and to develop your psychic abilities. With this, the I, psychic ability, trust your intuition. Definitely I would associate that with going into a hermit mode, going internally, and really working with spirit to gain a sense of clarity about certain things that have happened. And then we have Justice here. Justice in this context, I think it's important that the Hermit here has their eyes closed. The Justice card, both eyes wide open, you know, and then we have the eye. It's like about opening your eyes to something. With Justice, there's a connection to taking a step back emotionally from something, and that could be saying like literally distancing yourself from other people is also helping to provide some emotional distance for you, which might be helpful in determining the truth of the situation, and getting a sense of clarity, and really kind of taking an objective look at where you are and what has happened in your life. And Justice also associated with weighing the pros and cons of a decision. This could be saying that with option A, you might be jumping right into the healing process. With option B, you might be taking time to consider what you want to do next. And I will again reiterate, there's no wrong choice here. But this is just saying I need to weigh the pros and cons. I need to take time out to figure this out. And the Justice is a little bit more of like an intellectual kind of cerebral practical energy of like maybe literally writing a pros and cons list, or like just writing things down so that you can kind of wrap your head around it. There is also a connection with karma, and the scales of karma and receiving justice for something. This might be a message from Spirit that maybe like a bit of a reassurance that even if things had not worked out in your favor in the past, even if things had not worked out fairly for you, the situation was not fair, it was imbalanced, things are coming back into balance and alignment because you are taking time for yourself to prioritize yourself and prioritize your own healing. Justice also associated with, you know, making sure that everybody gets the outcome that they deserve, and especially that you are also advocating for yourself and putting your own needs first. It's like you got to put your own oxygen mask on first. It is everybody's responsibility to advocate for their own needs and make sure that their voice is heard, especially if that has historically not been true. And this might involve a solar plexus expansion of improving your self-esteem to the point where you will start to believe, to believe and know, because it is a true fact that you deserve to be treated fairly, that you deserve happiness, you deserve to have whatever you want in this lifetime, and you deserve to advocate for yourself. And that is something that you can empower yourself to do. And that might be something you need to maybe take some time away from other people's energy to be able to get to that point. And it might involve, with this Eight of Cups, might involve needing to walk away from specific people or specific circumstances that are not healthy, they're not serving you anymore, or they're just no longer in alignment with your spiritual path. And that again, it's like these energies are a little bit more solitary, they're a little bit more detached. And we have this home here of like going inward, making sure you're taking care of yourself, making sure that you are building a solid foundation for yourself, because you matter and your happiness matters. And it's just like going within and focusing on developing your intuition, your psychic ability, and your ability to trust your intuition, your ability to trust your gut feelings, trust yourself, and trust your spirit guides, and the fact that spirit is with you no matter which way you go. Because there's also a moon on this card, and I think it would be the same message here. Like, this is the face of your spirit guides who are always with you. And you might feel that you are being spiritually guided again to walk away from something or distance yourself from certain people, certain relationships, or certain circumstances that you know intuitively are no longer in alignment with your divine path. And this would even be saying, like, the justice here will happen when you choose to walk away from certain things and prioritize your own healing and well-being. That's what I'm seeing there. And we have the Strength card here, and this is giving me the sense of, with home and then the Strength. This is the red color of the root chakra, of like rebuilding your foundation, going within to really stabilize yourself. And there's a connection between the root and the solar plexus in terms of self-esteem, in terms of the root having to do with a feeling of security, and particularly a feeling of belonging. And the way I would connect these is with the affirmation, I belong in this world, I have a place in this world, I deserve to be here, which might be something that is helpful. A helpful affirmation while you are taking time away to rebuild your strength. And I think that this is saying, like, either way you're working on your intuition. This might have, like, option B might have more of a root chakra focus. But again, this is, as I said at the beginning of the reading, giving me the sense that it's like these are two paths that will ultimately lead to the same outcome, which is being represented here on the Citronella card. And I just want to read this statement again, because I think this is the ultimate message here from Spirit. As you align with the frequency of peace, the invasions from outside yourself and dissonance within are neutralized. So there's a message about focusing on your well-being, focusing on healing, focusing on rebalancing, and providing that peace for yourself. And again, I want to say, like, option A is maybe a little bit more social. There might be more people involved here with this Nine of Cups and the Lovers. You'd be bringing people in. We have romance celebration party, usually with other people. So this might be healing with others. This one's more solitary. It's like I'm taking the time to heal myself by myself with the support of spirit. So that's what I'm seeing for you today, pile 4. Hopefully I've been able to provide some insight and some helpful messages for you. I do feel like I really rambled. So if you did like the reading, please feel free to give it a like. Please comment down below and let me know how it resonated for you, if you enjoy this style of reading from me. And if you like my videos and you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe to my channel. And with that said, thank you very much for watching Pile 4, and I do hope to see you in my next video.